What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm super excited to give you guys my review of the Futura Laboratories collaboration with Nike SB on these Dunk Low OG Quick Strike in the Bleached Aqua colorway. So this is the highly anticipated collaboration between Futura Laboratories, which is a design studio and lifestyle brand founded by legendary New York City graffiti artist Futura. So this is not their first collaboration with Nike, nor will it be their last. But this shoe is extremely anticipated, and we have a lot of people calling this a potential shoe of the year. So these are releasing at skateboard shops on May 18th, and then there's going to be a release on the Sneakers app on May 22nd. And they retail for a price of $135 US or $175 here in Canada. And the official colorway for this shoe is Bleached Aqua, Geode Teal, and White. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box. So currently we are in the sail box era for Nike SB. So we have a sail or off-white colored cardboard box, and we have Nike SB branding on the top done in the silver or gray finish. As far as the shoe goes, so diving right into the details, on the toe box you'll see that the base layer of the sneaker, this is constructed in what feels like a woven nylon. So it's not like your typical mesh, but it's also not quite canvas, it's kind of somewhere in between the two. But this to the touch feels pretty thick, which as a result feels pretty unbreathable too. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this canvas overlay featuring a bunch of different abstract art. So whether you're looking at the lateral or medial side of the left foot or the right foot, each angle is going to be a little bit different, though it's going to be consistent across all the pairs. It's not going to be a randomly picked design, but within each pair of sneakers, the left and right foot are going to be different. And one thing I noticed is on the right foot on the medial side, we have this pale yellow colored stitching. I'm not sure why this was only incorporated on one foot and not the other, but it was an interesting detail nonetheless. Covering the eyelets, we have the same colorful canvas. And again, on the lateral side only, for one of the three eyelets, it's reinforced with a circular ring in red. I'm not sure what the significance of this red ring is, maybe it's just a random artistic choice, but it's very unique that they only incorporated that on this one eyelet. Underneath this on the mid panel, we have more of that woven nylon material, and then stitched on top of this, we have a suede swoosh which is done in this teal color. Moving downwards, the panel here is again constructed out of that colored or painted canvas, and then pressed onto the lateral heel, we have Futura's signature which is done in this puff printed finish, and then on the medial side, we have the letters FL for Futura Laboratories. This is also printed on in that same raised finish. Above this, we have more of that woven nylon, and then on the top of the heel, we have a reflective silver 3M panel with Nike branding pressed across in this white color. In terms of laces, so this pair comes with two different lace options. The standard lace that they come with were very unique, so these are actually two-tone laces. So the bottom half is done in more of an aqua color with this purplish blue color on the edges, whereas the top of the laces are done purely in that purplish blue color. But if you're someone that prefers your laces to be more uniform, they also come with this pair as well, which is a solid oval lace done in this violet or pale purple color. Underneath this being a Nike SB Dunk Low, we have a very puffy and padded tongue, but this is covered in that same woven nylon material on the top. On the very top of the tongue, we have this woven tag with Futura Nike SB branding, and even the Nike SB branding is done in the stylized Futura style font. And then the edges of the tongue, this is covered in this pale purple colored piping. The back half of the interior of the shoe, this is covered in this pale bluish purple colored mesh. And then as far as the insoles go, so the insoles feature custom graphics as well. We have Futura's signature, which is repeating in different colors along with Nike Dunk branding. And then on the heel, we have both Nike SB and Futura Laboratories branding pressed on in this black color. And this being a Nike SB Dunk, on the bottom of the insole underneath the heel, there is a Zoom Air unit which helps with impact protection and shock absorption. So the upper of the shoe sits atop this solid rubber cupsole which is painted in white. However, you'll notice that we have this contrast teal colored stitching which runs across the entire upper half of the sole. And then turning the shoe over to the bottom, so this is a translucent rubber outsole which is done in this aqua or teal color. We have the circular pivot point on the forefoot and Nike branding in the middle. And underneath the Nike logo, once again we have another Futura signature here, which I thought was a nice added touch, giving us a translucent outsole. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about how these fit, so my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I almost always go up a half size for the Nike SB Dunk Low. So getting these in a size 10.5, which again is a half size up, They fit me, but they definitely are a little bit more on the snug side. So I feel like if you have a really wide foot and you don't want a really snug one-to-one fit, you could even go probably a full size up, because I felt like these were a little bit more snug than a typical Nike SB Dunk Low. So unless you have a really narrow foot and you like a really snug one-to-one fit, in that case go true to size, but for everyone else, just to be safe, I'd recommend going up that half size. Moving on to the comfort, so these pretty much feel like any other Nike SB Dunk Low. The underfoot feeling is pretty firm, it's pretty stable, which makes sense considering this is a shoe meant to be skateboarded in. There's not too much from a plushness standpoint, even though there is Nike Zoom Air underneath the heel of the insole. And I have to add that the upper of the shoe, the materials feel pretty thick, and like I mentioned, they didn't feel that breathable. So generally speaking, the materials just kind of feel like they're hugging your feet a little bit more than normal. It's not like a forgiving suede, for example, and it just feels tighter and more stuffy than an average Nike SB Dunk. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality was decent. It's a nice mix of materials that they give us, with these canvas layers, suede, reflective panels, along with this woven nylon, which I have to say was probably my least favorite of all the materials. However, the build of the shoe, I thought it was decent. There were some minor issues with glue stains that were kind of all over the upper, but they weren't major flaws. I was able to kind of peel them off myself. And the only other thing I can think of if I was to nitpick is probably the shape of this toe box. So I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it looks pretty chunky. It's a pretty bulbous looking toe box. It doesn't have like a sleek look to it. I'm assuming it's just because of the material choices with this nylon and the canvas. So in a perfect world, the toe box could have been a little bit sleeker, but to me, it wasn't a deal breaker. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up for you and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, this is a beautiful pair of Nike SB Dunk Lows. I love the look of the shoe, it's such a unique colorway, and I love the variety of the materials used on the shoe as well. Is it the most comfortable sneaker? Definitely not. But at this point, when I'm buying Nike SB Dunks, I know I'm not buying them for comfort. It's obviously for their look, their aesthetic, and the fact that they're a lot more creative than your typical Nike sportswear dunks. So this is a great example of that, and I don't know how limited these are. I know they were randomly stocked and already sold at a bunch of Nike stores here in Toronto last week, even though the Nike stores here don't get Nike SB Dunks, so that was really strange. So hopefully these aren't as limited as people think. As of right now, the resale prices are looking pretty high because these are a very popular sneaker, but fingers crossed if you guys are going for them. Good luck to you. Hopefully you guys are able to grab these for retail, and if not, hopefully the prices on the secondary market drop a little bit. So leave your thoughts down below. Let me know, what do you guys think about this Futura Laboratories Nike SB Dunk Low? What are your overall thoughts on the colorway, the materials, the overall look of this shoe? Is this going to be a must cop for you? Is this going to be a shoe that you try, but if you take an L, it's not a big deal? Or it's just not really your thing and it's going to be an easy pass all in all? As usual though, if you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8. Check me out on X at sean.go spelled out, and visit my website as well at seango.ca. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch all of you in my next review.